and welcome. My name is Joseph Krieger, and today we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Desiree Cox, and she is the founder of HEALinc Future Health Innovation Summit, and she's going to be talking to us today about the event they have coming up in the beautiful Bahamas on April 17th, in which she'll be bringing industry leaders and other stakeholders to meet in person to discuss a lot of unique initiatives on a global level. So, Dr. Cox, thank you very much for being here with us. Tell us a little bit about your mission and the meeting we have coming up in the Bahamas.
Thank you, Joseph. It's a delight to be here, and it is just a pleasure, and really grateful for the connection and the support that Boston BioLife is giving to us in making this be a fantastic event. So let me just dive in and say a bit about what it is. So I set up HEALinc in 2018. It's hard to believe it's been 5 years now. This is going to be the third event. The first one was in 2018, 2019. We took a pause in 2020, like so many people did, to regroup and think about how we would pivot into the next era that COVID shifted us into. And this event is going to be a combination of limited in-person slots and virtual. So you will be able to join virtually if you're not able to physically come to the Bahamas. As you mentioned, it's April 17th to 19th in Atlantis Resort in Paradise Island, the Bahamas. We've held it in the Bahamas for a number of reasons, and that will change in the future. My whole vision around HEALinc was we have, and this is very going to be core to what the summit is about this year. We've got a very exciting emergent industry of regenerative medicine, regeneration, regenesis, health technologies, and more recently, healthy longevity kind of entered the party as an emergent theme, paradigm shift. Quality of life is core to what this is all about, and yet so often that gets left out. But a bigger challenge for me was connecting the dots. On a regular basis, I would come across people who would have an unmet need, and I would know of technologies that were either coming onto the market, or either in phase 1 or 2 clinical trials, or were in the Bahamas where you could be a part of patient-sponsored trials. And yet there was this gap between what people knew was possible and what was actually out there. And so the whole vision of the summit is to bring together the top tier industry leaders from across that sphere of quality of life, regenerative medicine, stem cells, and related technologies. Some of the technologies that are regenerative are ancient. The science is just catching up to them. Some of the technologies have more of the bells and whistles of modern tech. But the key thing is to connect the dots so that people are able to tell themselves a new story of how to live better, how to live longer, how to live a more inspired life that is healthier for as long as they are alive. I say that last bit because where the mind goes, the body must follow. So in order for these technologies to really come into their own, ordinary people of all walks of life need to be telling themselves another story of the next paradigm of health for themselves. So I like to think of our strap line is your health, your future, your decision. And that's really what the summit is about. So I'm really excited about the top tier speakers we have. I'm excited about the integrative program and the panels where people will be talking about how to get in action about the new technology and making it real. And I'm really excited about the impact and the connection with the future healthcare workers so that they're also inspired about what they might walk into in the future, rather than the more traditional impressions they have of how to integrate science in their career.
Well, that's wonderful. I think what's really important is you're actually putting the nuts and bolts and mechanics into what I call personalized precision medicine. That's the individual care pathways that each person can help develop. And you're putting the innovators of the different pieces of the puzzle together, from the academic side, the clinical side, the research side, the industry side, but also providing the resources for them to actually act upon things. But really the missing link, in my opinion, which you've overcome, is putting together the different factions so the scientist can educate the healthcare provider who has access to the patient, but they're actually tied into industry and other key resources. So the technology becomes real. Boston BioLife has been trying to bring that method together. And so that's why we're excited about the meeting. That's why we think it's helpful to be part of what you're doing, because you have a passion and a mission. You should be really proud of what you built, and we're certainly proud to be part of it. And we're going to be there in person, and we'll encourage everyone that can make it to the Bahamas to come. If you can't, stream online, but be part of the organization, because in my opinion, this group is going somewhere, and they're actually going to make a difference in why we're all part of regenerative medicine, or what I like to call translational medicine, the science of medicine, but basically bringing innovation to help patients.
Thank you so much. And until we see each other in April 17th to 19th.